So I'm Jacob Shear. You may know me from my podcast Sense Space or from my work in transformative dialogue and dialogos. And I'm a philosopher. I'm a dialogue and transformative dialogue facilitator. I work with people one-to-one to become more of themselves, to understand themselves more deeply. And I'm also somebody who's participated in a lot of men's groups and benefited a lot from that kind of work over the last several years. And it's something I really felt the live potential of. I was actually feeling it today because I just had a group session with a group of guys that I've been journeying with for the last couple of months. And it's amazing what happens when we build out a kind of intentional space, and there's a directionality to it, but there's a real openness to things moving where they want to go, what we call a kind of emergent approach. And so the Wisdom Fellowship is obviously something to do with wisdom. It's not just about getting into our masculinity. It's about men coming together with a shared intention, and that is really helpful for forming the kind of fellowship that we seek to practice in this initiative. I am someone who's been fascinated with dialogue, with what I call transformative dialogue. And what transformative dialogue means: transformative, something shifting between forms. In other words, a conversation that shifts our state. We start in one place, we go on a journey together, and we end up somewhere else, not just in the content, but how we feel, how we're able to feel our own agency and see our own landscape of possibility, our own world. We're better fitted to that, and there's a kind of wisdom to that. So for me, this initiative, the Wisdom Fellowship, is really my best attempt to bring together this understanding of transformative dialogue, of tapping into the self-organizing wisdom that lives between people, where we don't control it, we don't plan the meeting from beginning to end. We get the right amount of structure to allow like a live emergent process to occur. And alongside that, what I wanted to do is really make a place for men to talk about important things, conversations that I'm passionate about having, and I think most guys never get to have. I wrote on the website for the Wisdom Fellowship that I feel I'm somebody who was uniquely underprepared for adulthood and arrived in, we say that you're a man at 18, but I arrived with a whole lot of things to figure out and develop, and I'm very much still figuring out and figuring my shit out. But these kinds of spaces are very, very catalytic and very helpful. They're educational, not in the sense of, sitting in school and being taught a curriculum that feels quite arbitrary, but a kind of live learning between one another, kind of school of life education. And so what I've done is I've distilled some core archetypes, some core aspects of manhood, of our becoming, that are really relevant to us at every stage of our life. And this initiative is something that welcomes men at every stage of manhood, and my groups up to this point have had very diverse age ranges and nationalities and sexual dispositions and so on. So some of the themes that we're going to be exploring in there, I'm actually going to share my screen now just so you can have a quick look at the Wisdom Fellowship website. Let's see. So, sorry, that's not it. There we go. So this is the Wisdom Fellowship website. I'm going to link it in the description, and you can have a look. But we really have a two-stage core curricula. I call it a conversational curriculum, right? So there's a guiding educational process that we're in. Each week you're going to show up and there's going to be something new, something meaningful to explore, and hopefully something that's nourishing and nutritive to you. So we have our foundation building as we start out: listening, breath, the Tai Chi of dialogue. This is really about getting into a kind of skillfulness, subtlety, presence, slowing down, really tuning in with one another, getting into a place of intentionality that sort of goes beyond everyday conversation, and allows us to sort of hold that depth and begin to get a container with one another where we can trust in the integrity of it. And that's going to allow us to really have those live conversations and speak our truths. Then in the second stage of the program, we move into the initiatory archetypes. I've got here leadership, inheritance, ancestors, and role models. So this is really, what does leadership mean for us in our own lives? And can we, in talking about it together, actually begin to animate it until it comes to life and we're learning something new, potentially embodying these archetypes, these virtues in a way that we haven't before. Ancestry, role models, all really important for our journey as man. Many of us coming of age with fathers who were absent or emotionally absent. And I think it's really powerful for us to talk together about the inheritance, cultural inheritance that we've had as men of what it means to be a man, how we wrestle with that, and ultimately how we wrestle with one another, with our lives, something we explore in confrontation, conflict, and warriorship, to get in touch with that energy, that capacity to be met and to meet one another and to engage full-heartedly with conflict in our lives. And that's intimately connected with our warriorship. So I'm really looking forward to exploring that. Soul and spirit, this is a really meaningful place we're going to go later on in the course, and subsequently healing and integration. And this is something that's really been at the heart of my work and my world, is my journey integrating healing trauma and discovering the gifts that lie within the wounds and the integration of them. And so, yeah, you can check out the website and you'll find a little more here, just speaking out the different elements: deepening presence, truth, integrity, and authenticity, collective wisdom, leadership, and fellowship. I'm going to stop the screen share for now. So I hope this isn't too much detail at this point. I really wanted to just give you a felt sense of what it is we're going to be doing, and make this an invitation for you to check it out, to get in touch with me if you have any questions, and ultimately to register for the course. And yeah, we'll be starting out on September 1st or just thereafter, and you'll be in a group with men who themselves have identified these values as important, and this kind of self-development to be important at that stage in their lives. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you about the Wisdom Fellowship.